Hey, what's up guys? We're out here in beautiful Santa Cruz, California. We're doing a job for our friends over at Decibel Gardens. They're getting the whole Cannafloors system. It's the 3-layered system. You're gonna get your base coat of urethane cement with a sand broadcast, a grout coat of urethane cement over that to encapsulate the sand and give it a good second layer of protection. And then we're gonna top coat it with our premium polyaspartic. It's gonna be a bulletproof system for them. It's gonna be amazing. And it's gonna outlast any kind of epoxy you'll ever use in a grow room. All right guys, organization is key on the job site. We've always felt that way. What we do before we go to drop our base coat, our grout coat, or even our top coat is we go through, I take a digital measuring tape here, got a Home Depot, and I measure off obviously the width we're going. So I got 44 feet. So I know if we're getting 250 square feet per kit, I can go about 5.5 feet on each kit, on each pour. So I go through here and I measure off 5.5 feet and I mark it, and I mark it, and I mark it, and I mark it. Now I know when we go to mix, we have 17.5 kits that we're gonna be mixing for this. We'll mix 18 and burn the other half, but at least we know ahead of time and we're organized, so we know what to do. And then whoever's out there squeegeeing it, they know where their marks are to hit their mark every time to make sure we're not putting it out there too thick and then we're not gonna have enough, or make sure we're not troweling it out too thin and then you're not really getting your protection out of the floor because you've stretched it too far. So if you take the time, it takes about 5 minutes, just pre-measure everything, mark off where each kit is supposed to get you, and it takes the guessing game out of it completely. Here's how we like to set up our mixing station. We open up all the buckets ahead of time, so when you're on the job doing the mixing, you're not slowing down the process by having to open each bucket, pour it out, take up more time. You just want to get in and get out as quickly as possible. So we pre-open all of the buckets. I like to put the part A's upside down. I always tighten the lid a little bit before you put it down because there's been issues where we've had little leaks here and there. So before you put it upside down, tighten the lid. That way you keep track of the A's and B's by putting the C on top of it. But this gives the A's all the pigment that's been sitting at the bottom of the container. It can now make its way to the surface. Before you open it, give it a quick shake, pour it in the bucket and start mixing. That way you don't get all the pigment at the bottom of the container and you get it all through the material. So it's the exact same every time. It's consistent, consistent, consistent. We package all of our material in its own 5-gallon bucket. So now when you open it up, you'll see here you got your part C, your part A, and your part B. Now you can pour everything back into the same bucket and mix it up. You don't have to be going to run to Home Depot to buy buckets or anything like that. Everything comes in its own 5-gallon bucket. What we like to do on the job sites, what we recommend doing is you can get 2 to 3 mixes per bucket. So you're gonna have a lot of extra buckets on the job. We like to use them for the sand so we can pre-fill our buckets for the sand broadcast. Then we also have extra buckets for any kind of patching work or anything else we need to do along the way. There you guys go. As juvenile as it might sound, I'll show you guys how to pour it out in a ribbon. Make sure you guys have a good pace to get all the way across. You're gonna start on one end, overlap it over the material that's already down, give it a nice ribbon all the way across the floor. So that way whoever's running the squeegee doesn't have to move your material around. This helps with speed and consistency. And like always, no chunkies in the bucket. Make sure it's blended up so you don't leave any chunkies behind. It'll look like cottage cheese on the floor and you have to go through and roll it out to break it up. Just make sure you're mixing your material properly and doing it the amount of time you're supposed to, so that way you don't have any issues when you're doing the floor. We created the Cannafloors urethane cement system to be a user-friendly, easy-to-install system for you guys doing jobs in the cannabis industry. The first coat to our system is going to be our base coat of Cannafloors urethane cement. We expect to get 250 square feet per kit. We use the Midwest Rake Speed Squeegee Red Tab. That's going to get you 8 to 12 mils thickness on the base coat. You're going to want to back roll that afterwards. After you're done back rolling, let your roller lines settle down a little bit, and then go on and broadcast your sand to refusal. We recommend using a number 30 mesh or a medium grit silica sand. You're gonna broadcast that out to refusal. You wanna get 200 square feet per 50-pound bag. Here's a quick tip for you guys to help you keep track of your mixes, because as you're pouring and mixing and troweling and spreading, you're gonna start losing count of how many kits you've mixed to make sure you're on track. We save the bags that the cementous powder comes out of. We keep them to 10. Then when you get 10, you take the 9, put them into one bag, so you know that clump of bags is 10. You set it off to the side. So whenever anybody says like, hey, how many mixes have we done, or where are we at on our count, you already know by how many bags you have out where your count's going to be at. Instead of trying to save buckets or containers, it's small, it's easy, but it helps you keep track of all the buckets that you've mixed up. On the second coat, you're going to try to achieve 200 square feet per kit. You're going to get a little bit less spread rate because you're going over a sand broadcast, and that's going to eat up a lot of the material. We recommend using the Midwest Rake Speed Squeegee, the flat stiff. It gives a good coverage rate, pushes material right along, and gives a great finish to the floor. After you squeegee the material out, you're going to want to back roll it with a 3/8 snap. Like I said, we recommend the 18-inch roller, 3/8 snap. You're going to want to back roll and then cross roll back and forth to get rid of any kind of roller marks. So that way when you do your top coat, you have a nice clean surface you're going on top of. All right, third and final coat of our Cannafloors coating system is going to be our Cannafloors Premium Polyaspartic. We recommend using the Midwest Rake Speed Squeegee. It is the flat stiff. We're trying to achieve 350 to 400 square feet per gallon. Our kits come pre-packaged in 2-gallon kits plus the pigment. So we try to get between 700 to 800 square feet per kit. After you're done squeegeeing it out, then we're gonna back roll it. Again, we're gonna use a 3/8 snap 18-inch roller.